Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. How is everybody? It looks There's Colin. How you doing? I was like, for a second there, I thought, you know what? I'm all alone today. Um, Mr. Phil Cow. Uh, yeah, the packages are getting, actually, the pens are getting packaged up and they may get here sooner than I expected, but I'll hold them for you. So, um, should be interesting to see what comes. But anyway, um, it's been a eventful day, I guess. Got some things done today. I placed an order with a new company for some new stuff, which is cool. And I got a contact for another company that I ordered stuff from 2 months ago and got like no communication from. So I got a better contact. And this has historically kind of been the case. But I got a different contact and they're taking care of me. So that's good. So I got another two brands that are going to be coming on board hopefully soon. There he is. How's it going, Gabriel? Um, Russell, hello. Um, so anyway, that's exciting to make forward progress on stuff that's 2 months old, you know. 2, 3? Yeah, 2. May 13th I placed an order. No communication whatsoever. Can't find the order. I know it got there. I do know that. Anyway. Yeah, weather here, high 80s. Another warm one. Nice and cool here in the shop, so that's good. And other than that, I don't think I have anything. Nothing new. We've got, let's take a look at what's on the bench. Russell Collins says hi over on the other side, so. All right. Here are the client pens for today. We're going to test the Esterbrook and this Touchdown. And this Duofold too. And I have to make an appropriately sized pressure bar for this guy. So I did find a small bar, probably for a lady Duofold. I don't know how big this is. I have a metric ruler here. Or do I? And I thought maybe I would clean this one up and I could probably cut it up. The button's got roughly the same dimension. This has got roughly the same dimensions, but I need to cut that much off and then a little bit of this bar here. I should start up the Cardinal Grill outside my door on the lawn. Well, so yeah, the door behind me, behind my screens here, there's a door which leads out to this very strange little patch of grass, which I have to mow every week. That's part of my deal. But it's not used for anything. But I also can't like just put something there because, you know, I don't want anybody to walk off with it. So yeah, I mean, we could have a cookout, I guess, sometime, but I've got a little chair back there, so usually, and I didn't do it today because I was busy working on some appraisals. Usually I take a break and drink some coffee and sit outside and enjoy the weather. But which reminds me, I gotta get my coffee. I'm gonna get that. Hang on, I'll be right back. Forgot my coffee. I may have to get up and get some more later because that coffee is now 6 hours old. Let's see. $48. Definitely no bigger than that. Well, coffee sounds great. You'll take yours with half and half. I've got powdered creamer here, unfortunately. I think I got half and half at home, I think. I don't, I drink mine black, but with some sweetener in it. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Oh. I think I got a little bit of coffee left on the pot that I made for lunch. Well, I didn't really make it. I just kind of reheated it. It's bound to taste awful. All right, coffee with half and half. No bike shorts. Got it. And dip. Um, we're going to test that. I know it writes, so I just want to test to make sure it fills. Spin it out, and then I need to seal that. So we're going to do these. We might as well just test those Esterbrooks from last time, those pastels. The Esterbrook spider ad you found on eBay just arrived. You can't wait to see it in person. Oh, you got one, huh? That's great. It's really just such an interesting ad. $2? Yeah, you paid probably 10 times that in shipping. Well, I forgot to bring my Sheaffer book with that ad about or did we find it last time? I can't remember. I don't think we found it. The guy walking handcuffed to a wheelbarrow, walking cross country. I guess, at least he had someplace to put his beverage. Shipping was $6. Yeah, I suppose they probably put it in an envelope between a couple pieces of cardboard or something, huh? Yeah, it's a good price. I'm sure I paid more than that for mine. Just cleaning out these threads. There's nothing worse than having problems trying to screw in a Duofold. The frame was what gets you all the time. I remember the last time I tried to frame a bunch of stuff. Boy, did it cost. So I didn't get my numbers right and got to Michael's. And I got home and I was missing, I needed a couple more. Hey, Brian, thanks for the recent shipment of Groff sample inks. You guys are the best. I need more drawers if I were to add the actual bottles. Yeah. Those are such good inks. I'm just going to put a little bit of silicone on these threads here just for now. I'll wipe them off later, but any activity in the space that you eventually want to expand into? Are they selling anything from the estate they purchased self? Yeah, so while they didn't actually purchase it, it's their uncle or something like that. Their uncle needs to pare down. And last I spoke with them a couple weeks ago, they just work literally in one of the other offices. They're moving stuff, so they paid for it through the end of the year. Um, so we'll see what happens. It would be nice to have, but I also don't necessarily need it right now. I mean, I will need it pretty soon, especially if um, if the one vendor that I spoke with literally 30 minutes ago actually gets me my order. I'm going to need more room. But I'm good with it being a little uncomfortable for a while. I think if you're uncomfortable with your space, then you find creative ways to do things. Creative ways to organize, creative ways to pare things down. You discover things that you just don't need, that you can get rid of. And so I think it's beneficial. All right, well, first thing I do is I'm going to clean this off. I looked through my stash of original pressure bars, and I have nothing for a vest pocket. Yeah, I'm going to cut that off anyway. So we peek in there from time to time to see what's cooking, but it's hard to tell what, if anything, is different. I mean, it's actually set up kind of like a little shop. So I'm sure they must have people who come in and work. Must have people who come in and then while they're there, they pick other stuff up. I don't know. So what did I say? 48? Yeah, I said 48. The last time you had something custom done, it was over $200 for a piece you found at a estate sale for $5. Yeah. Yeah, I only gotta wait 6 months. I'm sure you have made sure there are no pens or desk sits in there for sale. Yeah. No, actually, I haven't. They did. We did have a conversation with them. Apparently, Lisa did. If there's any pens or anything like that, that they would let us know. All right, so now I cut it to length, but this second bar is too long. So I need to cut off a little bit off the bottom. Just that much. Should be enough. All right, next, I need to file it down to make sure there's no sharp edges. Yeah, I think it's 6 months will be. I have excess. We brought in, we bought a couple more shelving units to take care of some paper when Clairefontaine and Rhodia came. And I've got more ink coming. But, you know, everything moves at a snail's pace. You know, I mean, it took 10 years to get as much stuff as we had before. 10 or 15 years. Oh, that seems really far down. I guess not. Problem with this is you can only cut this once. Well, I can cut it multiple times as long as I'm going in the right direction. It looks a little too long, but it matches the other one up pretty perfectly now. We'll sack that in a bit. This. Fuzzy, how you doing? Welcome. That's the way to do it. Grow too fast can cause problems. Yeah. I'm pleased with growth thus far. But once we can get that space over there, then I think that ink is from the feed. Then I'm going to have, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my daughter work on site, which will speed up photography and lots of things. I mean, right now she spends 2 hours a week traveling from her house to get here for photography and for video. All right. Nib is smooth. We'll spin that out. We're going to test these other ones. My season appropriate tandem bicycle. Ought to be a tandem Tour de France. The Empire is expanding. I know you were hoping to get the unit in the same building. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The secretary of the insurance agent that's in the building is renting it out through the end of the year. Taking care of an uncle that has too many things. So we have to wait. Now there's a I mean, I don't know. I suppose there's always a possibility in January they say, well, we need it for a little bit longer. But they know we want it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I can make do for now. I've got some empty shelf space, but it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem in a couple of months. What do we got? Is this SJ? This is SJ. We got Venus. How many more square feet? It's not big. It's not big. It's I think it's another 400 square feet. But it's enough to get non-essential stuff out of here so that I can put actual product on the shelves. So, I mean, it will give me, and it will move, I'll move my photography equipment to the other space, which if I do that, then I can fit another 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5 shelving units, plus be able to use 2 more towers that I have, which really opens up, I mean, a lot of space for product. So, and if I can have my daughter here full time instead of working from home and wondering if she's working or when she's working, and there's just better communication. What are we gonna do this week for the mailer? What are we gonna do on the podcast? What do we need to photograph? And sometimes she comes, and like for 3 weeks now, I think it's about 2 weeks now, I've wanted her to do some additional photography, and we talked about it, but we both forgot about it. And so then I remember after she leaves, but I don't write it down. And she says, oh yeah. And then she doesn't write it down. So, I mean, that's a whole nother issue, right? But if I need something, then I'll just be able to walk next door and say, hey, listen, let's do this. I need this. Can you take care of this for me? And that communication will just be so much easier. Uh-oh. What was that? Why did we get a blob of ink? It's that feed, probably, huh? Well, let's do this again. Indigestion. I hate it when that happens. It makes me nervous. More of a workflow thing. Podcast from there as well if cameras are there. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. It's bound to be not as attractive because while there will be shelving units over there, it'll be the stuff on the shelf will not be. It would be like stuff that you don't really want in the background. You figure you guys have a pen to write it down. Yeah, I did write it down today. I mean, it's the only inconvenience is to get equipment from that space to this space. I mean, she's gonna have to drag it over, but even if she walked it over, it's less time than it would take for her to drive into work. So, okay, so that's about the same amount of time that I. I probably didn't because the fins on this feed are shallow. Must wipe off fully before using. Seems fine now. It's like those two Waterman filii. What would a plural of filius be? Where one of them leaked. I should try them again now. It's been weeks. My paranoia is. I mean, all the cameras and stuff are here, so you know it's not like she's bringing them in every week. I don't know. We'll see. We got 6 months. All right. That aside, that should be good to go. I'll polish that up later. That is good to go. Let's try this guy here. And this is going to be the same thing, I bet. Definitely want to. Nice writer. Real nice writer. You can set up a little cart for camera equipment and wheels in the summer, skis in the winter. Yeah. Actually, I saw this cart at Lowe's not too long ago, and it had these super wide, like all terrain tires, and I just loved it. I have a rolling cart right now that I use for like orders and stuff, and then we have a taller, like AV cart, um, which, if I'm not mistaken, has a plug in it or a power strip on it. That's a little bit too, and there's no real good way to bring it around either. You'd have to go through the parking lot. We talked about maybe cutting a hole in between the two spaces, but I don't want to pay for that, and I don't want to have to fix that when I leave. So, yeah, this right's real nice. This is nice. We're gonna fix that vest pocket after I've inked everything up. Because I don't want to risk any shellac getting on. Getting on the pens. Actually, what I want is I want a cart that has a cup holder in it. That just seems luxurious. Okay, we'll seal that up later. I just don't want to get anything sticky on anything. All right. Yeah, let's do these and let's get these done. Oh, but I need nibs for some of these too, huh? We can only find an original catalog with names of the pastels. Gabriel, can you work on that? You seem to be good at finding things. Am I really going to sell this pen with this 2284 in it? That's like a $30 nib. Come again, you missed that? I said we really need to have, we need to find an original catalog or a price sheet or something that tells us what the actual names of all the colors and how many actual pastel, Esterbrook pastel colors there were. My research thus far has yielded absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure I've cataloged every color. Oh, this nib is terrible. We can't do this. That's not good. But I don't know what they're called. I mean, did they really do a gray and a tan in the same year? See, that's what I do. I just call out you folks. Make sure you're paying attention. Yeah, it would be a project. Because they don't appear in ads either. Like, you know, we know they made them. But how did you order them? They had to have color names. And I have a pretty extensive library of original catalogs, and in fact, I just went through them not too long ago to look for desk sets. I don't recall seeing any of the later catalogs mentioning colors. I'm going on trust that my friend Paul Hoban found something at some point, and that's where we get Aloha Gold and Tempo Red. All right, I need 2 nibs. Hey, Gary, are they referred to CH and H? Yes. But you've got to, I mean, you know, how do you differentiate between, is that gray and tan? Watch, Gary finds it in like 5 minutes. Because the other question is, hang on. Actually, I'm going to keep that just in case those nibs. I need more nibs. The other question is the clipless version. The H, how many colors did it come in? Did they make it in every color, or did they only make it in a few colors? And if you want to be confused even further, it is a regular occurrence that you find stickered pastel pens with clips that have a sticker for the H. You have the colors written down in your notebook? Yeah, but where did you get them? Where did you get the names? I want to see the primary source, a primary source that lists all the colors and the changeover date, which we assume was 57, I think, for the darker pastels with the color match jewels. Now, admittedly, I have not done outside of my desk set research recently. I haven't done Esterbrook research in ages, so but I mean, it's not like anything new has cropped up, I don't think. $50 to $57. Gray, white, pink, peach, yellow, aqua, blue, and orchid. 8. Yeah, these are later. But you still got this, which is not gray. And these are not the same. I guess one is, that's aqua and that's blue. because the problem I have is as collectors, we sometimes, in lack of actual primary evidence, we assign names to certain colors, patterns, and over time it becomes the accepted naming convention, when in some cases not correct. You know, Sheaffer wasp circuit board pattern, or you know, what is the one they have? Souls in the, you know, that one, screaming souls, still souls in purgatory, or some crazy thing like that. Esterbrook icicles. It's not an Esterbrook term. Not an Esterbrook term. Polar white, temple red. Tran rose, aloha gold, country green, and peacock blue. I don't know if that's 59. Seems really late. I think it was earlier than that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to, and those are kind of the names that I'm used to hearing. But where's the actual Esterbrook price list or advertisement that lists the names of the colors? I've been calling these Aloha Gold, Temple Red, and Country Green for years, but are we just making that up? You got it off the net, yeah. Not sure if it was secondary or primary source. It's probably that Esterbrook.net guy. That guy, I don't know. I'm just saying, and thank you for listing them. I'm just saying, I've never, and I've looked at a lot of stuff. I've never seen them listed in catalogs, and I've looked at catalogs from 48, well, earlier, but obviously it doesn't matter, you know, from 48 all the way to 71. They just don't appear, which is not an uncommon practice with Esterbrook, because there are actually multiple catalogs that don't even show the LJ. Yeah, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. So we're going on faith that this is Aloha Gold, because it sounds right. It sounds good, right? Tempo Red, yeah, I can see that. But I mean, they don't even list LJs in some of the catalogs. Well, you know they made them. They list J's and SJs. Well, why eliminate one whole model of pen? You know they made it. Or did they? I mean, of course they did, because it appears in the back. You can find it in the price list. When you get a new pen, you want to know for sure what the original name it was. I look at all the sources to verify, and I even asked the guy on the camera working on pens. Nice find new. This is about as close to new as I think, you know, we're gonna see. Oh, I missed Gabriel. I missed the one message. Are they the same color, just different runs? I don't know. I mean, that's, and I have multiples of both. Actually, right here on the floor, in my binder, I have multiples of both of these. Um, I mean, could be. You think by the 50s, Esterbrook would have had that figured out, though. Don't trust what AI. It says if you ask it currently, AI works on what it thinks a person wants to hear and not take the time to see if what it says is correct. Yeah, yeah. I wish people. What drives me nuts is on some of these Facebook groups. I made a comment about it the other day. Um, it's almost as though some people want to, like, they have this need and desire to be heard, and and it could be that they're just trying to help, but somebody asks a question and then the first thing they do is they Google it, or they run it through Chat GPT, and then they post that answer. Oh, well, it looks like it could be da 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 da. Well, no, it's never right. I just don't ever want. I just hate seeing those answers. I remember a really really funny one a couple years ago. Um, it wasn't too long because even I guess AI has been kind of ramped up in the last couple of years. Um, Somebody posted some green pen, and and AI told him it was the Anderson Pen's Retro 51 terabyte. This thing was so far from a terabyte, it was laughable. Much like you have variations with marble plastics. I mean, maybe. You need to test its response, then manually check its response. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, sometimes I do read it just to see if it's going to get me. If it's a question I think that is simple enough, you know, then I might go with it. But I would never. Yeah, I just hate AI. I really can't stand it. You have the terabyte. Yeah, it was a great pen, wasn't it? We had plans for two more that we never did, sadly. You've got an Auto Flash Drive point 0.5. Oh yeah, nice. Oh my gosh, look at this. Woo! That is the smoothest extra fine nib. It's insane. Oh, what happened there? You bought pens on eBay and the seller's been absolutely wrong on what model it was, but I look it up before I buy so I know for sure what I'm buying. Yeah, I mean, you could tell. Um, anytime any eBay listing says something about, luxurious writing experience, like no human wrote that ever. You've seen some grays that veer brown. Bottle of ink is, yeah, it's about half. I'm out. This is my last bottle of black. And then I've got two more bottles. I've got a Mysterious Blue and I think a Serenity Blue that I got from the estate sale behind the shop here. If you're selling a pen and not 100% certain in the description, I say it would appear to be. Yeah, yeah. It would appear to be a luxurious writing experience. So did you guys see this video online this last week? That's how you got your Esterbrook Rosewood desk set? They meant Eversharp. There's a video this last week, and I think it was Stylo Suite. They changed their name to Writing Culture or something pompous like that. And they're reviving. Did you see this? They're reviving the brand name John Holland. Now, I wish, I don't think he's in here. He's not in here. I wish my buddy David's the one who sent it to me, was in the chat. But I know he's out of town and he's enjoying life, as it were, this week. But I have to rant on it. Oh, you saw it today. And it appears to be not much information other than they're building everything from the ground up, vertical integration, yada yada yada. It's like it reads like some textbook in process improvement. Hey, John Holland here in Cincy. Oh no, Zug, Switzerland. Yeah. I mean, and I didn't watch the whole video because it was like 30 minutes long, and then they got, Jean-Claude Bivet in there, or whatever his name is, the watch guy, the big watch guy, which I assumed has nothing to do with John Holland. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to do John Holland. Oh, okay, and they're talking about whatever. Like, what kind of pens are you going to make? You're just going to use the name? You got a U-Thousand Tractor Company? I mean, seriously, I'm genuinely interested in what this business philosophy is, other than they just found some name that they could use that wasn't the crappiest pen available. I mean, I guess wherever it was taken. Hey, Kathleen. I mean, how are they going to relate John Holland? Number one, I'm upset because my eBay searches now, the pen starting the $2,500 range on up. Was that later in the video? Did I miss that? My eBay searches now are going to be, it was, okay. I guess I have to suffer through the rest of the video then. It was like a half hour long. I'm not doing that. My eBay searches are going to be screwed up forever now. John Holland was there are two videos. Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so bad. But my eBay searches are going to be screwed up because I'm going to see this new John Holland in with the old one. Although I guess that would mean somebody would have to sell them, and if they're selling them, they're probably not. They're not going to have. I don't know. Maybe they'll be wholesaling. I don't know. But I mean, did they like it just because one of John Holland's models was the Jewel? Boutique only. Okay. Yeah, that's the worst part. Yeah, it's my eBay searches. His first one, the one I hate the most, and this is just I feel bad that I don't at least have my friend here to like either put the brakes on me or fuel the fire. But when Esterbrook came back, all of my eBay searches screwed up forever. I just heard a door. Hang on. I'll be right back. That's not. Yeah, my search is screwed up forever. But I mean, what did they pick the name because John Holland made a pen called Jewel and they're in the luxury writing sector? I mean, is it going to even remotely look like a John Holland? I mean, how would you define what a John Holland looks like? At least with Conklin, you've got the obviously identifiable crescent. You can milk that to death. Are they going to make a hatchet filler? They just went for a premium brand that was available. It just kills me. It just kills me. Oh, wait, what are you gonna do? I mean, but they're making nibs from scratch. I mean, there's almost no identifiable. They're well financed. They apparently are. This is my favorite nib ever in Esterbrook. I shouldn't even sell it. I should make sure I have I have one of these. So Colin, did they even show a prototype or anything like that, or is it just all talk right now? They developed their own filling system based on earlier systems. So what? They're going to use well, it's either a hatchet filler or it's a saddle filler. They did. Okay, I got to find that video then. I got to find that video. I mean, but all piston. Well, that's luxurious. Because, Holland did piston fillers. I'll take this pen any day. Majority of the Holland pens, they have created their own piston system, new nib design, etc. So, I mean, in reality, they're not going to be anything remotely like a vintage John Holland, except for that it has the John Holland name. The shaft twists. Okay. Well, we'll go take a look at it later. After this stream, I will. And the big marketing deal is Swiss made. Really? They're gonna say Swiss made on a Holland? Swiss made accounts for $750 of the final sale price. Because I bet if you took a poll on any of the fountain pen boards and asked them, quick, someone revive Avon. Stratford. See if and make up three names and put John Holland in there and ask him which one is which one is it was an actual pen brand. Nobody would ever pick John Holland. I've already said more than I probably should have. Oh, speaking for fountain pen boards, is FPN having issues? Yeah, I have heard that it is. I spoke with Ron Zorn a couple weeks ago. And he was concerned about it. And I have noticed that trying to go on links has proved very difficult. There we go. There are a lot of top end pen brands. Only so many people can afford them. Will be interesting to see how much market. Did I already read that response? I can't remember. I don't know. It just strikes me as just kind of a weird choice. $10,000 companies based in that tiny city due to banking and tax laws. Like, let John sleep. John's done. John's gone. All right. 4 down, 4 to go. Temple red. I always hate putting the bottle that way because I feel like it's going to. I am thinking I might sell my John Holland photograph. Maybe they'd buy it from me. Over to YouTube. Twitch has crashed on you twice. Oh, it's on your phone. Okay. Yeah, hard telling. Yeah, Lisa asked me the other day. She says, "What would you sell John for?" I said, well, John is not for sale. But if somebody wanted to pony up several $1,000,000 for it, we could have a conversation. This is a nice writer. Anybody live in Oil City, Pennsylvania? And named Edward W. Wallace? Peach. This is sometimes the least fun part about restoring pens. I think maybe the funnest part about restoring pens is taking everything apart and cleaning it. So far, so good. Yeah, I haven't actually been on FBN in so long, it's not even funny. I'm technically still a moderator. No time for that. Agreed, yeah. I mean, the Esterbrook forum usually is... It kind of polices itself. Esterbrook sort of fall under that whole... They're not good enough to be snobby. So, you know, the people who really like them just really like them. That's a terrible nib. What is that? So, you know, you don't have name calling and issues that you need to worry about. Well, why did that? This couldn't be more perfectly aligned. Yet it just writes like garbage. Which is a shame because I think they're, you know, I think everybody's moving toward a more Facebook type of means to communicate. There we go. It's better. Oh, you're agreeing with the cleaning and taking things apart, but spending time moderating sounds not appealing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there's a little lag, so. Yeah, it's cool to just see the old dirt and stuff go away and then. Yeah, they're less a source of info on repairs. I mean, it's like every day you got to tell people stop taking apart. You don't have to grease your Twisby before you put it together. I don't get that. Why would people think the manufacturer would send you a pen and then require you to disassemble it? Well, and there's just like, you know, decades of information on FPN at this point. I think I stopped using it right around, I don't know, it was about, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, when they had like a major server change or they had some problem, database change, and like they lost, like everybody lost like all their private messages. And I mean, you knew it was going to happen. And I was just like, yeah, that just wasn't acceptable to me. Like if you knew you had to change something, you make it work, you find a way to make that work. I don't know. Yeah, I realize it doesn't always work that way. I mean, I come from an IT background, but all right, let's spin some of these out. And then these guys are done. Look at that pretty tray. We got matching pencils for some of them. But, you know, FPN was always so much better than all the alternative sources. I mean, you know, outside of FPN, your best forum was like Pentrace. Which I'm not even certain is still around, is it? Newpentrace.net. And then for a while there was, and I could be preaching to the choir here. There's probably not too many people that remember these. There was Pen Lovers. Does anybody remember Pen Lovers? Message board. I think that one had a blue background. And of course, you've got the ZOS list and stuff like that. But I got to remember to bring this salad spinner to my next club meeting. Yeah, what else? There was Lion and Pen. Anyone remember that one? That was a great board. That was more scholarly than anything else, but I did enjoy for a while. It was fun. The Pentrace Sunday photo. What do they call it? Pentrace Sunday photo forum or something. What do they call that? and they'd have a topic, and then you would send in, you know, you post your pictures. That was fun. Or since I'm even going further back, how about Alt CPPP? Alt CPP? Anybody remember that one? Or Google Groups? Google Groups goes way back. All right. I already cleaned those other ones, didn't I? Yeah, I already did those other ones. AOL message boards. That was one I was never on. Was never on those. I'm going to drop this in the Deox one more time. We'll see if we can get it a little bit better. It looks good, but AOL. Dial-up. Kids today don't know how good they have it, right? Before I do this, I'm going to get some coffee. Take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. You don't miss dial-up. The one thing I remember about dial-up, and this was pre-cell phone too. I had a job in Florida, and we had just gotten internet access, and I was supposed to be entertaining some clients, and I with my boss, and I decided that like partway through the the early evening, I was done, and I was not gonna. Number one, I couldn't drive home because actually I think, yeah, we had carpooled somewhere, and I had too much to drink, or I had enough to drink. Any bit to drink would not have been good to drive. So I called my house, and my first wife was on the computer, and all I got was a busy signal. So my only choice was to walk. And then finally, I would walk from phone booth to phone booth, and finally I was like, well, screw this, because it was, I don't remember how many miles. It was a lot. It would have taken a long time. It would have taken hours to get home. Finally, I got a taxi to drop me off at my house. I forget how much it cost. It was a boatload to get me home, and yeah, she was she was on the computer. Oh, were you trying to call? Yeah, I was trying to call. One time you had an answer machine that had the ability to call by pages, so I could call the house and retrieve your messages in off your answer machine. Oh, I don't like this coffee at all. Ugh. You got new coffee. No good. For me, anyway. I don't know, and I don't know what the problem is I don't know what coffee it is. Lisa got some, I think, in Denmark, but I don't think that's what this is. One time your dad tried some satellite internet service. It was horrible. And probably not cheap. You only had it a few months, yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. This is a really short sack. You cut off more than you actually use. Yeah, I remember my first internet browser was Netscape Navigator. Or was it Communicator? Which one came first? Communicator? Navigator? Oh, this is gonna suck. Your wife went into labor and they told you to go home as the baby wouldn't come until the morning. You went home and plugged your computer into the telephone socket to get on the net, and you forgot to plug the phone back in. Oh my God, Gary. Park Blue Box. Netscape Navigator. Yeah, right? Which one was first, Communicator or Navigator? What were all the different versions of that? Anybody remember? Oh, I hate it when this happens. Okay. Oops. Let's get this out. I liked it a whole lot better than Internet Explorer, that's for sure. I mean, there's not much to like about Internet Explorer. Yeah, yeah. You want to use navigator? There was a communicator too. Yeah, I forget. I forget if that was the previous generation or yeah. Wasn't there a third one too? You remember to put it back in the phone, man. You better get here. Your child's about to be delivered. They were just about to call police to knock on your door. Ah, that's probably a story you probably don't tell too much around the house, huh? All right. So the trick is there we go. Ooh, nothing on my fingers. You used Opera? I don't know that I ever really used it much. I think the first time I used Opera was in like 2010s, maybe. And I used it for checking web browser compatibility. The nurse was so unhappy with you. You got talking and she found out I was a social worker. They upgraded your wife's room. And I'm just going to leave that like that. That we're going to let sit. We're going to seal up this touchdown. I was a big, excuse me, a big Firefox fan for a lot of years. You couldn't tell me otherwise that anything was better. And then it eventually just ended up getting too bloated. But it was critical with all the pop-ups and stuff that people were doing back in 15, 20 years ago. You know, Firefox with ad block extension on it. I'm sure other browsers had similar ideas, but Netscape used to be popular in its day. Yeah, well, I mean, that was the whole Netscape was the whole reason for that lawsuit. Microsoft was forced to allow it to be in, what was it, Windows, which one was it? 98? 95? How did we get on this topic? Dial up? Oh, message boards, FBN. Vintage computing technology. Windows ME, Millennium Edition. Remember that stuff? Which was worse, ME or Vista? Go. Ask Jeeves spin repair questions. If you had both ME and Vista, which was worse? That's a tough one. Both are the worst. Hey, Andy. I had a laptop. My very first laptop that I bought when I went to grad school had ME on it. And I remember when Vista came out, I was so excited. Linux all the way. I used Linux for a long time. I was a big proponent. I was a big fan of SUSE Linux. Integrated into work where they had never used Linux before, and it was a bold move, I must say. Another nerdy hobby, yeah. I tried all sorts of different things because we didn't have a budget for decent computers. Now it's a little hard to picture, but when I got my first IT job, I was tasked with upgrading most of the machines in the office for Mint Linux. I'll have to check that out. Most of the machines in the office, and like there was a $0 budget pretty much. So what I did is I upgraded, RAM and hard drives. We had machines with 64 meg of RAM, and I can't even tell you how small. I might even have a spreadsheet, but 256 meg hard drive maybe. So my boss is like, well, we can't afford new computers, but we can afford new RAM and new hard drives. So I cloned. I put new RAM and cloned the computers onto bigger hard drives, and that was my upgrade path for a while. You were looking on Etsy and you saw a rare find of 2 fountain pens, vintage wall Eversharp Skyline in a Century Durapoint Burl miniature Duofold style. The description one each stated the seller didn't know what kind of nibs they had. In looking at the pictures, neither of them had nibs, just feeds. Oh my God. You imagine an office building that had an access system running off a laptop that had ME when you took over. I made sure that disappeared quite quick. Yeah, I kind of want to say ME was maybe the worst. Your first Windows computer had a 33 megahertz processor. You think your mom still has it? I mean, obviously, I don't know though. Vista was pretty stinking bad. You used to copy drives over with Ghost? Yeah, that's why I use Norton Ghost. I mean, it made it easy for you. It was really pretty good. I even got to a point where I had loaner machines. It was hilarious. Nowadays it's, what you can do with machines is I mean, I don't even know. I've been out of it so long. I'm sure it's completely different by now. But, I would say, okay, listen, here's the upgrade path. so-and-so's complaining about our machine. Yeah, she needs new RAM. She needs a new hard drive. I'll get that ordered. And then I had built a machine that sort of worked and had access to the systems that they needed. And then that's what they used for a day while I fixed their machine and got it back up and running and copied their profiles and all that jazz. All right, so tomorrow, hopefully we'll finish this up. I really hope this this works. I'm going to get a tray and we're going to pick out some pens to work on. Mint Linux is stupid easy. Why use it now? But you did use SUSE back in the day. Yeah, and I picked SUSE because number one, it ran on really, really slow machines. You know, I mean, all Linux does, right? But it was the most Windows-looking version of Linux, so that people would say, okay, well, you know, you don't hit the start button, you hit the green button that's in the same place, you know, and then there were icons on the desktop. You know, we used the desktop and RDE, I think it was called RDE. No, forget what it was. KDE. Yeah, it's been so long. You did the Redneck install of Red Hat for giggles. Redneck install. I don't know about that one. All right, what do we want to work on? We're going to work on the Cardinal just because I want to work on the Cardinal. I kind of want to work on some of these Koh-i-Noors. You choose redneck language. Was about 20 years ago. It was funny. Oh, interesting. I want to do that one. Well, now a couple of these actually do. The piston actually goes. This is not one of them. Let's try this gray one. Just for fun. Oh, you know, I got a barrel in here, don't I? I want to try this Holland. Made in Holland pen. Yeah, yeah, yep, and nope, and are you sure? Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, so we're not going to go too deep down the Koh-i-Noor rabbit hole. Those have pistons that actually do move. This guy here, we'll do that. This is a lovely little pen. We're going to do this one, I think. This Sheaffer for sure. Let's do the Sheaffers. It was funny for about 5 minutes, then annoying. Look at this guy. Yeah. Kind of a stubbish nib. This is really a nice. And the lever is pinned on the end too. And it's thick. It's a really girthy pen. It posts. This is a nice pen. It's got to be a National Pen Products company or something similar. Big number 4 warranted nib. I like this Craftsman because it's got the Triumph nib, the big fat Triumph nib. A nice full length Sheaffer balance. And these have hard rubber barrels. This was my good luck omen, because we found this at the first place we went to. I said, "Oh, that's great! We found a cardinal." It's pretty tired, but it's going to be just for me. So, you've been out shopping? Yeah, I was. Lisa and I hit the antique stores on Saturday, and we got all of these and more. Press bar comes right out, huh? But I used to have a bunch of cardinals a long time ago before I even thought of, obviously I didn't want to do this, but before I did this, this whole project, and I sold them all. But now I'm selectively picking them up. They're not super high quality pens. They're pinched nibs for tipping, and. Oh yeah, I'm keeping the cardinal. Yeah, the cardinal's for me. It's in such a bad state of repair, so. Oh yeah. So these were sold to me as restored. So far, so good. But, you know, that's not acceptable. Time to fly. See you next time. All right. Sounds good, Colin. Have a good rest of your day. And it came out way too easy. No. Buff Face. Thanks for the follow. Heck of a name. It's not what I thought it said the first time I saw it. What I don't know is how the rest of this comes apart. That's a good start. Does this have a blind cap here? What's going on? So it looks like the piston is at the end. And I don't normally do pistons, so this was part of an experiment to get better at working at them. These are relatively straightforward. There we go. So we're just going to try to learn something today. I'm sure there's no books on the delta graph. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's start with what we know. These appear to have okay sacks. That needs to be cleaned. This guy, we'll have to get this off. But let's clean that first. It's so hot in here, I lost about 1.5 inches of water in my ultrasonic. Let's see, how many of these can I fit in here? 2? Well, I can fit all 3. So we've got our trusty Rapidoes. Fill those up. Throw a little water in there. Let's see what that looks like. I'll throw that in the ultrasonic. Deal with those in a minute. I guess, wow, it's getting close to 5 o'clock, isn't it? I think they use graphite as a lubricant. I'm going to clean off this barrel just because it looks ugly, and like I said, that's the best first part of pen repair is cleaning stuff off. There's a tube in there. And again, this is not to be mistaken for a Parker 51 or a Sheaffer Balance or Snorkel or anything like that, but I'm probably the only one on the planet that now cares about this brand. Much better. I love these Eversharp Big E's. They're fun. Actually, I might even have a box. Well, this is not round at all, is it? Screw, if I'm not mistaken. There's the inner cap. These don't really matter. I'll hold that inner cap in place. There we go. It's got a washer clip too. I imagine this is threaded, but dump that in there. Let's see what's. How am I enjoying the Tour de France? I was up late last night, which is probably why I'm a little tired. Because, you know, I refuse, like I said, I refuse to fast forward too much. But I did watch yesterday's stage, which was pretty exciting. Pogacar taking the win. And I'm not riding tonight, so I'll have when I get, actually what I'm probably going to do is when I get off the stream here, I'm going to start watching the tour. Although I think today is probably not as long as while I'm doing work, and then when it gets to the important stuff later, I'll be able to watch it on the big screen. I mean, we're only 3 days in, and it's pretty exciting so far. The organizers sure have put together a nice program. The pod has gone up another level, it appears. Oh, the pog during the Giro has probably been costly for the Dane. Yeah. Well, it's the first time this year that they've met each other in competition. But you know, Pogacar has that explosive power that Vingegaard doesn't have. And I think Vingegaard is great when it comes to long, steep climbs. But when it comes to sprinting, yeah, I mean, although last year Vingegaard beat Pogacar in a sprint, so I mean, you know, it's just so hard to say. This one needs a little bit of cleaning on that piston. I'm going to see how these turned out. Pidcock said it was the hardest day of racing he has ever done. Yeah. They really like to minimize that Cat 3 climb, though. It's like, oh, it's a Cat 3 climb, but it had 500 meters of climbing in, what was it, 6 kilometers? Yeah, his burst of speed in the last couple hundred meters was amazing, pumping out so many watts. Yeah, I mean, you know, what, I don't know what it was, but If it was 1,500, I wouldn't be surprised. 1,700. I mean, you know, they say that there are 10 stages in the tour that Pogačar could win this year. You know, and he could have won 2. He won 3. Little surprised they didn't do a little bit better in stage 1, but I don't know if that's, they were really counting on that in their 10. I don't know that that got any better. It's still pretty dark. It's a lot better than what it was originally. Yeah, you can minimize it when you're not riding it. Exactly. But you know, Bob Roll, he went down the mountain and then climbed the last 2 climbs yesterday before the race, and I don't know, 500 meters of climbing in that short of distance is a fair amount of climbing. Now, I'm just a hack. Wannabe amateur, but if they categorize it, it's hard, you know? I love it when they say, oh, it's a category 1. It's not that hard. Like, are you kidding me? It was, what was it, 20 kilometers? 1,200 meters of climbing? It's all you're doing for, like, you know, that period of time is just going up and up and up, and it just never ends. It's starting to get squeaky. That means it's good. I don't really think it got any darker. I wonder if it's this composition that Esterbrook used. I've never really been able to get them super black. Hills are just like the flats, but with attitude. Yeah. All right, you know, it's better. I think it's definitely better. It still gives a little bit of that vintage look. We're going to let that dry. Oh, I'm going to drop it on the ground. Yeah, we got some stuff coming out of there. Those might need to sit quite a while. The stuff that came out of those barrels was like crunchy. It was like potato chips. Let's see if any of the rest of this stuff is. Meanwhile, I'm spilling water all over the place here. Guess that's why I only had 3/4 full. The cardinal nib is still soaking, but a lot of ink came out of it. Well, this is fun to see how these Kohinoors come apart. Should clean up nice. Provided the nibs are, I call them nibs, but the stylos are in good shape. Cap first. I really love this design. These ridges on the clip. Just gonna, probably a bad idea here. There we go. I love this. We got the E logo on the nib. Look at that. That's cool. doesn't want to go up. It just doesn't want to move. It gets almost there. There we go. Well, that sure cleaned up nice. Coming? It's coming. I think we can get this off. We're going to be in a good shape for tomorrow. This might be one of those cases where I'm going to hold it here with this one because it's slippery. Well, I've used section pliers more times this last month than I've used in a long time. Scrape this old stuff away. Now the nib actually looks pretty good. Warranted wing flow. Well, we're gonna let these soak, I think. The water is pretty brown. So tomorrow, I think what we're gonna do is a good place to stop. I'm just gonna let those. So, we're gonna test these guys. If they test out okay, I think they'll be. The sacks seem okay. Well, they'll be okay. This one we should be able to test tomorrow because it's just a cartridge converter filler, so we shouldn't have any problems. We'll try to figure out what to do with this. There's a breather tube here. Is there a hole for a breather tube? Not really. What is this doing in there? Where's that? I gotta. Before I leave, I gotta see if I can see where this breather. I mean, fell out. If this is actually supposed to be in here, this is a terrible design. It does fit in there. There we go. There's a square cutout for this, and it's not in the middle like you would expect it to see, like on a Parker or something. It does fit there. Okay, we'll try that. Wonder if this slots in here. That. No. You would think it would be. Oh, does it go? Goes this way. That's the way it goes. Yeah, it wasn't in right. Because there's a little notch that the top part here slides into. And then it comes here. It stops there. So really not pressing on this, you're pressing from the bottom. No, actually, so yeah, so I got it in backwards. That makes more sense this way. Yeah, this way. Yeah, this, because this then runs up through here. There we go. It's even dimpled on the bottom, as if somehow that would be enough to make you. All right, so that's good. Cap is kind of a disaster, but it looks like a rivet style. We got a little bit of a spread here. This is a tough clip. Really doesn't want to move very well. Well, we'll mess with that tomorrow. Oops. I've got some few things to do here on the shop. Tour de France to watch, so hopefully that's a fun thing to do. Tomorrow we'll get back in on these Koh-i-Noors. That's kind of fun. I've got I got 2 more left. Koh-i-Noors in this Delta. What is this? A deltograph? What is this? What do they call this? Yeah, whatever it is. Just for something different. We'll test those other guys. Bring some more ones over. Keep at it. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow, all right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.